Greg Ellis, along with Dan Albers and Coach Jeff Giesting. Welcome to the second edition of Redskins Review for the 2011 football season. Tonight's show is being taped on Tuesday, August 30th, and in this show, we're going to take a look back at the Redskins' loss to Princeton 40-33 down at Nippert Stadium in Week 1, and we'll take a look at the upcoming game in Week 2, where the Redskins travel to play Withrow. With me, as always, Dan Albers, Coach Jeff Giesting. Guys, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Coach, you had a great start to this game. You block a punt, you scored a touchdown early on, and then all the turnovers kicked in.
Yeah.
But you know what? Your team hung in there, and with like 15 seconds to play, you still had a chance to get back in it.
Yeah, I guess that was the thing I was most proud of. Is our guys don't quit, and as long as they do that, they believe they have a chance to win. Now, to overcome the errors that we made is very, very difficult, and we had all the momentum. We had everything going our way in the first quarter, and we had a protection problem, and Nick got hit and a fumble, and they score, and the momentum was gone, and we really had trouble getting it back until the second half. So it was a difficult first game for us. It was one we felt like we could have won, but we let it get away.
It's talking about that with Nick Mason. He pretty much got blindsided from the one side. Was that more of a protection issue, a blown assignment, or was that something they did differently?
It was more of a design in the protection. We flopped our tight end over, and we thought they would adjust to that, and they didn't. And we went ahead and ran the play. If we had audibled or something to the other side, we'd have had a much better play. We'd have had them outnumbered. And sometimes that happens. You anticipate what the other team's going to do. They never did it. Maybe something we thought they would do based on film study. They don't do it, whether it's a blown assignment on their part, and it comes out working out perfect for them. So it was just a tough one to take.
Well, saying that, and so I don't understand with the pistol, as far as if you audible out, is that called from the sideline from your coaches?
No, we have certain audibles that Nick can call. Okay. That play didn't particularly have one built into it, so he had to run what he was going to run. That's why we can go fast, because we don't audible. Right. Very rarely do we. Every now and then they'll give him a couple plays and he'll check the one, but for the most part, we run what's called, and we just got caught that time with Princeton not making the adjustment we thought they would make. But like I said, based on what we'd seen, we thought they would, and they didn't. So that one really hurt us.
Yeah.
Nick was under a lot of pressure all night. Lots of times, some of the passes we completed was him rolling away from the rushers.
We were playing two sophomores and two juniors that had never played varsity football before. One of the juniors, it's only his third year of football.
Wow.
So, those kids, they had a big job to do. And I think as the game went on, they did a much better job. And really, I couldn't ask for a whole lot more out of two sophomores and two juniors playing the first varsity game, along with Ronnie. So that was kind of tough on them. And Princeton has some pretty good size and some pretty good athletes. I think eventually they got a little tired, and we had them worn down, which is what we like to do, and win the fourth quarter. But we just couldn't get done this time.
Dan and I commented on it during the game, because as they went through the fourth quarter, you could actually tell where we were that we were wearing them down.
Yeah, we had them. We had what we wanted, and the kickoff return totally took all the momentum back again. We got within one score. There was plenty of time left in the game, and they run the kickoff back.
Yeah.
So, we had some major issues with the turnovers and two blown coverages and kickoff return. I mean, it's hard to overcome those kind of things in a game against a team with the athletes they have, and we just couldn't get it done.
You had a new face in the backfield. You had Camille Bradley. I think he ended up having 3 touchdowns. He did a pretty nice job for his first varsity game.
Yeah, he was a DB last year. Actually broke his leg the first play of one of the JV games last year and had to come back from that. So he's made great strides. He's a good athlete, and he's not, at first he really didn't want to play running back. He still wanted to play defense, but he's done what we needed to do for the team, and he had a nice game for us.
A couple other new faces you had was Jared Cook, and then you also had Kevin Rogers, two guys that made some pretty big plays for you.
Yeah, Jared's Coach Cook's son, and he works really hard, and he's a good little receiver for us, and made some big catches. And Kevin got some of his first varsity action as he's our backup quarterback, but he also brings some things to the table running the football that hopefully we can expand on as the year goes on. And we didn't want to just baptize him by fire right away and throw him to the wolves. But he's going to be a really good player for us.
We were talking on air how hard or how exciting, whatever you want to call it, for Coach Cook to call the number to have your son, and then not show too much excitement because you got to get ready to, you still got to
coach. I've been through that.
Yeah, with Kyle.
You know what that's like.
You really kind of block it out. You're glad for him, but you're thinking about so many other things. I don't think that you really, I think later on as you watch the film maybe, or you watch it with him at home, then it sinks in a little bit more. But I know Cookie's he's getting ready to call the game, and he's just glad that they had a successful play, a touchdown, whatever, and he's ready to move on.
The defense I really thought played better than you would expect when you see that Princeton scored 40 points. Yeah. I mean, we were constantly giving them a short field, whether it was on turnovers or on kickoff returns. And given the conditions, I thought they played pretty well.
Yeah, we had 7 3-and-outs, which I don't remember the last game. Defensively, we had 7 3-and-outs. They punted the ball a lot, and unfortunately, we could only block one of them. Kyle was very close 2 other times. And it was just one of those things that it shows you the importance of pass defense, because we blew 2 coverages and gave them 2 touchdowns, and then their other 4 were just gifts too, off of turnovers and like you said, field position. And things. So, we looked at halftime, we'd given them all 4 of their touchdowns, really, with the blown coverage and the fumble return for a touchdown, the interception return that they had to, down to the 5, and then we fumbled on our own 36 and gave them a short field. And then we had a penalty after that. So, it was just very, very disappointing to come out and make those kind of mistakes. Normally we don't do that, and we're trying really hard this week to correct that.
The run defense, particularly, I thought played very well. Coming in, Princeton had a great year last year with Thomas at running back.
Yeah. And
he made a great one-handed catch as a wide receiver on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, he did. It was a great catch. We weren't 1st and 30. No one should be behind you, and we were in a fairly safe coverage and just kind of lost our concentration, and they got behind us, and he makes a great play. We can't afford to do those kind of things. We're not explosive enough offensively to get those points back quickly, and I think we're making improvements in that area. But the injury situation is, like I said last week, has got us so out of sync sometimes on offense that we're still struggling to find that. But we've had a pretty good couple days so far this week.
Good. On special teams, Ron Zell-Foster blocked the first punt.
Right.
And that was just a great play, and you got the momentum. And also, later in the game, I couldn't believe how quickly he closed on Thomas, one of those kickoff returns.
Yeah. Oh, Ron Zell's a tremendous athlete. He just has to believe in himself all the time and concentrate all the time, and he makes some great plays for us. He and Kyle are our 2 playmakers on defense in the secondary. We're playing them. Kyle played a little bit of offense. Ronzell had been practicing it, but he had a slight groin pull, so we kind of pulled him from the offensive side, and maybe as the year goes on, we'll get him back into working some more with the offense.
Overall, defense probably graded up pretty well for this game.
Not too bad. I mean, they had 60-some yards on the ground.
Right.
Of course, they had 170 or whatever through the air, something like that.
But 75 of them on that one-handed catch.
Right, and then they had the other blown play was 50.
Yeah.
When you figure 120 of their 170 yards were on 2 plays. But again, the quickest way to lose a game is poor pass defense, and that showed up in this case. And then when you couple it with turnovers and mistakes on offensively, and then a huge special teams mistake, even though they had one as well with the blocked kick, it's just too much to overcome.
We talked a little bit about your offensive line. It's obviously a little inexperienced on the offensive line. First half, it looked like they struggled a little bit, but I thought in the second half that the offensive line played a lot better than they did in that first half.
Oh, they did. I think the coaches made a couple adjustments with them, got them calmed down a little bit. You're talking 16-year-old kids playing against 18-year-olds when you put a sophomore out there against a senior, and for the first time, they're going to be nervous.
Right.
But, we had a little sophomore center, Luke Berry, playing and just did a great job with great snaps. And then Evan Spangler was the other sophomore that was playing, and they're both a little undersized for varsity football yet, but they're really going to be good players for us in the future. And then Joe Turner was playing his first game as a junior, and so was Andrew Pollock. So, there's some growing pains that we're just going to have to go through. But I think they're going to be pretty good eventually.
Let me ask you a quick question. The 2-point conversion that we thought we got and then we didn't get, what's the explanation? Why did we not get those 2
Well, when
points?
I went out for injury, I heard him explaining to the other officials that he saw Reed step out of bounds and then come back in, catch it. The film's kind of inconclusive on it. There was a guy 10 feet away right on the line looking at it, and this guy makes the call from the sideline. It didn't seem like the proper management of the game in my eyes. When there's someone on the back line that's looking right at it and somebody on the sideline overruling him, and it's funny, that guy made a lot of calls that game, and I guess it was his turn to be noticed.
Yep, I agree with that too.
That's not why we lost the game.
That's
we lost
not
the
why we
game
lost,
with our mistakes, and we have to clean that up.
Well, we've always had in the years past, and I'm not taking anything away from Camille Bradley or anything like that, but you have always had a marquee back, let's say.
For the most part,
you have Jake Nelson last year. Does having that running attack take a little bit of pressure off of Nick to throw mix it up a little bit? You know what I mean?
Well, sure, but we're still struggling to find that running attack, really. I mean, Camille had a nice game, much better than we thought he might have. We were a little concerned about him going into it because he's still learning the position, but he really did a nice job. We're still kind of dinged up at the running back position, and then Travis Broman came in for a couple plays, and he didn't play last year, but he's back playing this year, and he really did a nice job.
He did.
And got a little thigh bruise, but he's okay. He's practiced this week. We're just hoping Brandon Satterfield gets healthy soon, and then we'll have those guys and Jared Herman, and we'll be able to figure out who the top 3 are going to be and go from there.
Tanner Bronhaver came off the field. I saw him limp off the field. Then he went back in for a little bit.
Yeah.
What is his status?
He's out right now. I think he's going to be back next week, but unfortunately his ACL did tear again.
Oh, you're kidding
But
me.
he's decided, and the doctors, talked with him, and he's decided with his family he wants to keep playing football, and we're glad. He's such a great leader for us that he's going to have some good football games for us yet this year.
Good.
He's just got to get the swelling down. It doesn't hurt him. He's walking around fine and seems in good spirits. But he's a very mature kid that has handled a lot of things in his lifetime, and he's going to be it's going to be a blessing to get him back.
Yeah.
So he's going to wait till after the season to address it?
Yeah, sometime. You see how he does, and he still wants to play baseball, and I don't know what he's going to do with basketball and things like that.
Yeah.
So. We've had other kids in the past play without that. Nick Sherman did his senior year.
Yep.
And we had another kid, Jared Brandenberry, I think played years ago without one. So, you brace it up and you try not to run them too much in practice. And when it swells, you ice it. And we're just going to have to be smart what we do with him on the practice field that he doesn't aggravate it.
Do you ever remember having at Anderson this many turnovers in a game? Or
No, I don't recall that many.
Especially in the first half. The first half was an
quarter.
absolute disaster.
Yeah, first quarter, you're right.
It was a disaster. With the fumble and then the interceptions, and it just happens.
Right.
And it was our turn. It was our turn to have it happen to us. So nobody's ever going to play the perfect game all the time, and we just have to really work on our concentration so those things go away.
Players of the game: offense, defense, special teams.
Offensively, it was Camille. He had 3 touchdowns. He had a nice game. I don't remember exactly how many yards he had rushing. I would say 60, 70 maybe. Defensively, Kyle Payne led us. I think he had 11 tackles. And special teams was Ronzel Foster for blocking that punt.
Absolutely.
Kyle, he was all over the place.
Yeah, Kyle does a lot for us.
All over the place.
Yeah, he's really having a nice year. He's hustling all over. He's playing some offense. Had a nice run on offense. Had a great catch. And made some great plays out of the secondary.
Got to keep him healthy.
He almost broke a couple of the kickoff returns.
Yeah, I forgot about that too. He had some great returns.
What did the JV and the freshman teams do this week?
Freshman won 21-16. They scored with a minute to go.
Wow,
good.
Which was a good win for them. JV lost 28-12. So we got one victory out of the 3.
Good. Okay. And you talked about Tanner Bronhaver. Was there any other injuries come out of this game?
Oh, Andrew Pollock tweaked his elbow, but I think he's going to practice tomorrow. And Chad Barth had a little ankle, but I think they're going to be fine.
Okay. Let's go ahead and start talking about this game coming up this week. We traveled to Withrow, And I've been doing these games since 1991. I don't remember ever going to Withrow to do a game. Well, do you know when the last time we played them?
Probably when I was a senior and we lost 44
We played
to
them when I was
17.
at Anderson. My first year we played, but we played the varsity game at home. We played JV down there. I'm not sure we played a varsity game down there, maybe 1989.
Yeah.
It was,
We might have played down
when
there.
we were in the they
the
were in the
Eastern
same
Metro
league, the
League.
Eastern
Eastern
Metro
Metro
League.
Conference.
That's when
Sycamore.
back when we played them. I think Dale Mueller was the head coach then at Withrow, I believe. When I was playing, I think he was the coach and then left to go to
He left. He went to Sycamore, I think. Then he went to Highlands.
So I was. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Sycamores, that's who Withrow played this in week 1, and they lost to a Sycamore, I believe. It was a close game.
It was like 38-24, something like that.
So tell us a little bit about Withrow.
Well, they're very athletic. Got a number 4 is an explosive receiver. Can't remember his name right now, but
it's either Riley or Middlebrooks.
Riley, and Middlebrooks is a great receiver as well. They throw the ball much more than Princeton will, so we have to make sure we're not giving up any deep balls this week. They'll be in the spread, some one-back stuff sometimes, and then sometimes they'll be with 2 backs with tight end and run some split-back veer, which Coach Place ran when he was at Hamilton. And so they're kind of in transition right now on where they're at offensively. Defensively, they'll line up, play a lot of man and blitz, similar to what Princeton did to us. So that'll be a familiar look to us, what we saw last week. But they've improved. I think they're, they had that game with Sycamore was, I believe it might have been tied at 24, and Sycamore kind of won the fourth quarter and opened it up there. So they're definitely, going to be a tough game for us. We have to go down to their place, and they have such a historic stadium, and it's really a cool place to play.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going there.
So we're looking forward to that as well.
Speaking of the 2 receivers there, that Riley and Middlebrooks, I'm sure one of them's a little bit taller than the other one, and he's one of those guys that you can just pretty much throw it up, and he can either run and get it or jump up and get it.
Yeah, I think Middlebrooks might be the taller one, but they're both so athletic, and Riley's he's really a good player. He had some big catches against Sycamore and in the scrimmages, so we definitely have to account for him and know where he is at all times.
Chichester.
Yeah.
Not quite that big, but yeah, we got to know where he is for sure.
I think one of the things, how was their quarterback? Because I know they were kind of iffy about going into who was their quarterback.
He's not bad. He can throw a decent ball. He's also an adequate runner, and so we're definitely going to have to contain him and keep him from getting loose. And
I know on defense they've got a couple decent down linemen. Nothing. I don't think they're overall as big as Princeton, but they're pretty decent. They're not bad. They're not as big as Princeton, but they're still pretty good. They got a great safety back there that's very aggressive. We're going to have to make sure we know where he is all the time, so we don't throw one up in the air that he goes and gets. They present us some problems. And game plan and keys of game obviously is no turnovers. Yeah, if we can eliminate, if we don't blow coverage, we eliminate the turnovers and play well on special teams, maybe we'll have a chance. So I think the keys are offensively we have to run the football effectively and not give them a lot of chances. If they keep getting chances with the football and throwing it down the field as much as they do, the odds are with them they're going to hit one of them or 2 of them, hopefully no more than that. We have to make sure they can't run the ball effectively like we did against Princeton. I think that helped us a lot, forced them to punt the football, and maybe we can have an advantage with special teams. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Anderson Football Alumni Association, something that we want to try to talk about every week. It was really, really neat. I got to catch up with Chad Lapp in New York. He called me on the phone, and so he's going to be on at halftime for this week's game, and it was just really neat to catch up, and he's just loving that he can listen to the games in New York. So the one thing that he said was his kids can't figure out why we're listening to Anderson games and they don't know who Anderson is when they live in New York. So he's still trying to explain to them what's going on. But it was really neat catching up with Chad, and I think it's a really neat feature that we're doing, and we're just trying to get everybody out there in the Alumni Association. And one of the things that we got is this football here that we got that you can get on the wall that we've talked about before. You see there's Howard Bell. That was, 1964, so he's one of the ones that have added. But you can get in contact with Jeff, John Raymond, or myself. And how much is this again? $60, and we put them up outside the weight room, right on the wall where we come out.
of the weight room through the garage door, and it's it's building. I think we've got about 30 of them up there now, and from all different eras, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, guys from last year's team and so forth. So, there's plenty of alumni out there. It'd be great if we could just plaster the whole wall.
Right. And if you want to sign up, you can go to ahsfaa.com, and it'll kind of explain everything, how to sign up and what's going on. So I think we're up to 130 people, somewhere roughly around in there. So it's getting there, and it definitely keep growing, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Let's thank the folks who make this broadcast possible, the good folks up at Anderson Community Television for the use of their studio, their equipment, and their airtime. We do appreciate it. Thanks to our producer, John Raymond, for all the stuff that he does to help us. He's very soon we're going to start calling him Pick, because he's going to be on the sidelines.
He is the man. We're gonna. I didn't tell you about that. We got a wireless mic now that we can actually kick it down to John, and he can give us some reports and let us know what's going on.
Just make sure he doesn't get hit, knocked over.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
that'll add to it too. Thanks to Denise White for all the things that she does for us. Denise has been working with us for like 5 or 6 years.
Yep.
We appreciate all her help, and of course the football moms for all their support. We do appreciate that. And did you have the air times yet for the TV?
He does have them, but I'm going to post them on the website. I don't recall. We did get all the times we wanted, so we got really good times.
Good. So you can look on the website usbnsports.com. And it'll tell you what actually you can look on the ACT website.
Right, it'll be on there too.
It'll tell you what times the game from the previous week is going to be replayed. I believe they show it like 7 or 8 times. Mm-hmm. So if you're smart after the first time, turn its sound down.
That's right.
So you don't have to listen to me and Danny complain about the officials, things like that. But and also if you can't make it to a game, if you got folks out of town, please pass on the fact that we do all the games live on usbnsports.com. Each week we get emails during the game from folks, grandparents in Florida. This week we had Austin White's parents. They were somewhere out of town.
They were down in Florida.
And, it's a great thing to know that folks are listening to us. And it's especially, like I said, if you got folks out of town, someone who just graduated, a brother or sister, make sure you pass along the fact that they can certainly keep up with the Redskins live on usbnsports.com. Also, thanks as always to the folks who helps us when we do the games, our spotter Ed Barth, our stat man Steve Martin, and this week we had Brad Ellis filling in a camera for Tim Huntington, who'll be back this week at Withrow. So we could never do these games unless Danny had help. Danny and I had help in the booth. So anything else, guys?
No,
that's about it.
We're good.
Coach, good luck this week.
Thank you.
Second game of the week of the season. Second non-league game leading up to when we start the league affairs in week 5, I guess.
Yep.
So for Danny Albers and for Coach Jeff Giese, I'm Greg Ellis. Thanks for joining us on Redskin Review.